On this episode of the Whiskey Tornado, we review Sagamore Double Oaked Rye. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Whiskey Tornado. I'm your host, Lance. Today, we are reviewing Sagamore Double Oaked Rye. This is a company coming out of Baltimore, Maryland, sourcing their whiskey from MGP in Indiana. I'm assuming this is their 95% rye, 5% malted barley mash bill. Again, sourced from MGP in Indiana. Aged for 4 years and then put in a second barrel for a second maturation process for a short amount of time. I don't remember how much time it's in that second barrel, but giving it those classic double oak notes. So we're going to review it today. Quick disclaimer, don't take this review too seriously. These are just my subjective opinions. Just because I tell you it's good or bad doesn't mean you should listen to me. You should taste all these for yourself and decide for yourself, since palates are so different. All right, if you're new to the Whiskey Tornado, let me quickly explain our scoring system. We have 7 categories. 2 of those categories are handicapped. Those 2 handicapped categories being appearance and availability. Then we go on to the nose, palate, finish, body, and value. Each category is ranked 0 to 1, 0.5 being average. At the end, we add all those scores up. Any score of 3 or better makes it bar worthy, meaning you should feel safe buying it and putting it on your bar. It's going to be a fantastic addition. Any score 4 or better means it's bunker worthy. That means it's so good that you better put some in your bunker just in case the bourbon you love stops being made. All right, guys, with all that being said, let's get into the appearance of Sagamore Double Oaked Rye. All right, guys, this bottle is so beautiful. I love it. I love the shape of the bottle. I love the gold and dark blue on the label. It's almost like it's like a copper and blue. The diamond shape of the bottle is just so nice. It's so aesthetically pleasing, really modern, really clean. Absolutely love it. We're going to give the appearance a 0.7. All right, moving on to the availability. I can find this pretty much anytime I want. I think this particular bottle did just get double gold. So it is getting some praise, so it could become harder to find. Availability is always one of those sliding scale things, which is why it's handicapped on our scoring system. But for now, I'm going to give the availability a 0.7. All right, on to the important stuff. Let's talk about what's in the glass, what's in the bottle. The nose, right away, you get those double oaked notes. The first note that pops out to me is like vanilla marshmallows. It almost feels like, you know how marshmallows kind of have that dustiness? There's like that vanilla dustiness to the nose. There's definitely some of those like graham cracker notes that you often get in double oaked products. But mixed in with all that really beautifully, really well balanced is that rye. You can smell the rye, you can smell those like citrus notes. And then a note I've been getting a lot lately is sour apples, and I am getting sour apples on this just a touch. Nose is really, really nice. It's not knocking my socks off, but it's certainly better than average. We're going to give the nose a 0.6. All right, moving on to the palate. Cheers, everybody. Oh, this is a beautiful whiskey. Wow, really, really good. I think the newer you are to bourbon, this is going to be one of those that you really, really like. If you're looking for a lot of heft and proof, you might not like this, but man, is this an easy sipper. For those of you that like smooth, easy sippers, this is it. So on the palate, I'm getting lots of vanilla marshmallow up front. That's the first thing that really hits me. And then cinnamon graham crackers, that like milk chocolate, those very typical double oaked notes. Again, really well mixed in with the rye, the citrusy rye. But it's just like, one's not overpowering the other. They're both really well balanced. It's really, really nice. Now, one thing on the palate, man, getting those like s'more notes heavy now on that sip. That was fantastic sip. But one of the things that I'm not super crazy about on the palate, it is double oaked and it is drying. It is kind of tannic. You can tell it's been sitting in some additional oak because it zaps your tongue pretty quick, dries out really fast, and makes the finish kind of short. So normally I would probably put the palate at a 0.8 on the flavors that are there, but I have to knock it a little bit because it's a little too drying. That extra time in during that second maturation process really has affected the oak notes. I mean, the oak notes bring flavor, but what you risk with flavor, extra flavor, you risk in drying out and oak tannins, and this has a little bit of that. Boy, it's beautiful. It's so good though. I would give it a 0.8, but I'm going to knock it to a 0.7 because some of you might not like that drying feeling. If you drink like red wine, how drying red wine can be, this is that to bourbon. That has some of those oak tannins and kind of zaps you real quick. Okay, moving on to the finish. I touched on it already. And the finish is just kind of average for me. It's got those good milk chocolate notes. You don't get a lot of rye spice, like some people think of rye as super peppery and spicy. I think that's mellowed out by that second maturation process where you get those sweet double oaked notes, those like s'more notes. But the finish is a little bit, it's better than average, but again, it's so drying that I'm gonna have to knock it again, and I'm gonna give it just an average score of a 0.5 on the finish. All right, moving on to the body. Again, this is a 96.6 proof, so not super high proof. But what I like about the body is it is really creamy, really nice. It has a wonderful body for a 96.6 proof. We're gonna give the body a 0.7. All right, on to the value. This is a $60 bottle. We're talking about 4-year MGP rye that's double oaked. All of these double oaked MGP ryes that I've had are fantastic. If you see them, don't even question them. If it's distilled in Indiana and it's a rye and it's double oaked, just buy it. Just look on the back of the bottle, look to see if it's distilled in Indiana, and if it's double oaked in a rye. They've all been really, really good. This one is certainly no exception. It's fantastic as well. It's in line with like Woodford Double Oaked, which is around $54. This bottle was $60. So I'm going to give it a little better than average just because I love what's in the bottle so much, but it's not like you're not getting a super steal. So, but it is really good for what's in the bottle, what's in the price, slightly better than average on value. We're going to give it a 0.6. All right. So that brings the overall score for Sagamore Double Oaked Rye to a 3.8, making it bar worthy and inching towards bunkering some. I don't think you need to bunker some. There's going to be plenty of, MGP ryes that come out that are double oaked. But this one in particular is fantastic. All the ones that I've had have been great. But for $60, if you see this on the shelf, go get it. I think it's got 96 points and it's had a double gold. So it's obviously getting lots of awards. Really good stuff. A lot of people are passing up, and you could just see these sitting on shelves. There are just not a lot of people are chasing it yet. I also have a Benny's store pick of Sagamore Rye here. This is a 6-year MGP, and I kind of wanted to quickly just compare the two. This is 110 proof. The color on this is really, really dark. I don't know if you can see that. Super creamy, velvety. Those vanilla, citrus, rye notes come through. Caramel, really nice. I wonder what, we're gonna mix the two. Let's add a little 6-year Sagamore Rye store pick to the double oaked. Because I think what's going to happen, this body on this is what this is missing for me. This had a little bit more body, be fantastic. Let's taste this little blend here. I'm kind of a genius. That's really good. That's fantastic. A little bit of the Sagamore Rye at 110 proof mixed in with the double oaked is where it's at. If you have both of those, man, that's good. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed the review. Until next time, cheers.